I'm an author of a book on how to beat lust, and what I'm about to tell you is a true story from one of my clients. I'm sharing it with his permission, and names have been changed to protect his privacy. Mike was, by all accounts, a success. A senior software architect in his early 30s, he had carved out a comfortable niche at a well-known tech firm. He drove a Tesla, was halfway through paying off a lake house, and had that specific kind of job security that only comes from being a high-earning, seemingly indispensable expert. The Tuesday of May 2020 was like any other. Mike sat in his home office, coffee in hand, staring at his laptop screen as faces began popping up in the Zoom grid. He had no idea that in exactly 13 minutes his entire professional life would implode. Not from a heart attack, not from a horrible breakup, but from 16 seconds of sound he thought nobody could hear. A sound that would cost him $120,000 a year, his reputation, and his entire career in tech. Before we dive into what happened that day, I want to ask you something. Where are you watching this from? Drop your country or city in the comments. And if you're not subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button now. This story gets intense, and you don't want to miss what happens next. Trust me. As the Zoom meeting dragged into the 30-minute mark, the CEO, a sharp woman named Sandra, was talking about leveraging synergies and how the pandemic was affecting company operations. Mike was only half listening. Bored, he did what he often did. He physically turned away from his 34-inch ultra-wide monitor, leaned back in his Herman Miller chair, and pulled out his phone. He then opened a private browser tab and weighed his options. Should he hop on social media? Nah, it was too mundane. Perhaps he should check out some news? After a few seconds of consideration, he decided against it. The news was too depressing. He wanted a real distraction. In the end, he typed an adult content URL he knew by heart into the browser and hit play. He assumed his Zoom audio was safely muted. But here's what Mike didn't realize. His mute was off. Maybe he had asked a question and forgotten to re-engage the mute. The reason didn't matter. The reality was that for nearly 300 of his colleagues, the CEO's voice was now being drowned out by the very clear, very unambiguous sounds of a woman engaged in intercourse. The first sound that came through every single person's computer speakers was a low, rhythmic moan. Then another, louder and unmistakable in its nature. People on the call immediately noticed. You could see it happening in real time. Faces froze in disbelief. Eyes went wide with secondhand horror. Someone typed in the chat, "Mike, you're not muted." Another message, "OMG, Mike, mute your mic." But Mike wasn't looking at the chat. He was staring at his phone, engrossed. The sounds continued for a few more agonizing seconds. Sandra stopped talking mid-sentence, her face a mask of pure shock and confusion as she tried to locate the source of the audio. It was the chief operating officer, Greg, who finally unmuted himself and barked, "Mike, mute yourself, now!" That's when Mike looked at his computer screen. He saw his name highlighted in green. He saw the exploding chat. His blood ran cold. His hand shot to his mouse and he frantically clicked the mute button. The audio stopped, but it was too late. 290 people had heard it, and the meeting was being recorded. The silence that followed was deafening. Sandra, visibly flustered and angry, ended the meeting abruptly. "HR will be following up. Everyone else, please carry on." Mike sat in his home office, hands shaking. His phone buzzed. It was Robert, the head of human resources. "Mike, we need you to join a meeting immediately." The Zoom link came through. Mike clicked it. Robert was there along with the company's legal counsel, Pete. "Mike," Robert started, his voice cold and formal, "we need to address the audio that was broadcast during the all-hands meeting. Was that coming from your device?" Mike's throat was dry. "Yes, but it was a pop-up, a virus, I think. I wasn't—" Pete cut him off. "We're not here to debate the source. You were on a company-wide call with our CEO and nearly 300 colleagues. You broadcast highly explicit and inappropriate audio, creating an unprofessional and hostile environment. This is a clear and severe violation of our code of conduct." "I've worked here for 4 years, Mike pleaded, his voice shaking. "I've never had a single complaint. This was a stupid one-time mistake. I thought I was muted. That mistake, as you call it, has caused immense embarrassment to the company and profound discomfort to your colleagues, Robert stated. We cannot have someone in a senior position who displays such a profound lack of judgment and professionalism, especially in a client-facing industry like healthcare technology. The words came next, hanging in the air like a guillotine. Your employment is terminated, effective immediately. Mike's access was revoked before he even left the Zoom call. He tried to log into his email. Access denied, Slack. He was a ghost in the system. He sat at his kitchen table, his mind reeling. It was 10:47 a.m. on a Monday. 45 minutes ago, he had a career. Now he had nothing. His phone started blowing up with texts. The gossip was already spreading like wildfire. He thought about the recording. The story was too salacious not to share. Senior exec accidentally blasts explicit content on company Zoom call. Even if it didn't go public, the text scene was small. His name would be mud. He thought about his mortgage, his car payment, the vacation home. All of it was built on a salary that no longer existed. He had the skills, the experience, the resume, but none of it mattered. In 15 seconds, he had redefined his entire professional identity from skilled architect to the guy who got fired for the porn Zoom incident. Mike put his head down on the table, the weight of his own stupidity crushing him. His whole career gone in an instant because he didn't check his mute button. In the weeks that followed, Mike learned the true meaning of a scorched earth reputation. Recruiters who once hounded him went silent. Interviews were canceled after background checks. He was radioactive. That one moment of careless, entitled boredom cost him everything. Salary, stock options, respect, the future. In fact, finding a new job at the same level became nearly impossible. Mike's story is a reminder that in our distributed digital world, the line between professional and personal is terrifyingly thin. It's a line guarded by a single, humble icon, a microphone with a slash through it. So the next time you join a video call, remember Mike's story. That thin line between your professional and personal life is guarded by a single mute icon. Always double check it. Have you ever had a mute button scare? Tell me your story in the comments below.